applause for Colin McCann. I can't help it if I'm young still, can I? It's a wonder I'm not an old shriveled hag before my time living with him, so cold, never embracing me, except sometimes when he's asleep, the wrong end of me, not knowing, I suppose, who he has. Any man that would kiss a woman's bottom, I'd throw my hat at him. After that, he'd kiss anything unnatural, or we haven't one atom of any kind of expression in us. All of us the same two lumps of lard. Before I ever do that to a man, the dirty brutes, the mere thought is enough. I kiss the feet of you, son or nothing. There's some sense in that. Now didn't he kiss our hall door? Yes, he did. What a madman. Nobody understands his cracked ideas but me. Still, of course, a woman wants to be embraced 20 times a day almost, to make her look young, no matter by whom, so long as to be in love, or loved by somebody. If the fellow you want isn't there, sometimes by the Lord God I was thinking, would I go round by the quays there some dark evening where nobody would know me, and pick up a sailor off the sea that'd be hot on for it, and not care a pin whose I was, only to do it up in a gate somewhere. Or one of those wild-looking gypsies in Rathfarnham had their camp pitched there near Bloomfield Laundry to try and steal our things if they could. I only sent mine there a few times for the name. Modern laundry. Sending me back over and over Elwyn stockings, that black garden looking fellow with the fine eyes, peeling a switch, attack me in the dark, and ride me up against the wall all over the world. Or more than anybody. What do they think themselves, the fine gentlemen, their silk hats, that KC lives up somewhere this way, coming out of Hardwick Lane, the night he gave us the fish supper on account of winning over the boxing match. Of course it was for me he gave it. I knew him by his gaiters on the wall. And when I turned and round the news after just to see, there was a woman after coming out of it to lose some 50 prostitute that he goes home to his wife after. Then only I suppose the half of those sailors are rotten again with disease. And move over your big carcass out of that for the love of Mike. Listen to me. The winds that rise to my souls to me. So while he may sleep, and so the great suggester Don Bungo de la Plumber. If he knew how he came out in the cards this morning, he'd have something to decide for. A dark man in some perplexity, between two sevens too, in prison, for Lord knows what he does that I don't know. And I'm to be slouching around down in the kitchen to get his lordship his breakfast, when he's rolling up there like a money will, I indeed. Did you ever see me running? I'd just like to see myself at it. Show them attention and they treat you like dirt. I don't care what anybody says. It would be much better for the world to be governed by the women. You didn't see women going and killing one another and slaughtering. When do you ever see women rolling around drunk like they do, or gambling every penny they have and losing it on the horses? Yes, because a woman, whatever she does, she knows where to stop. They wouldn't be in the world at all only for us. They don't know what it is to be a woman and a mother. How could they? Where would they all of them be if they hadn't all a mother to look after them? But I never had. That's why I suppose he's running away from me at night, away from his books and studies. And not studying at home on account of the usual rowdy house, I suppose. Well, it's a poor case that those that have a fine son like that are not satisfied and dwell in one. Was he not able to make one? It wasn't my fault we came together when I was watching the two dogs up and behind in the middle of the naked street. That disheartened me altogether. I suppose I oughtn't to have buried him in that little woolly jacket I knitted, crying as I was, to give it to some poor child, but I knew well I could never have a mother. Our first death too at once. I will never the same since. No, I'm not going to think myself into the clothes about that anymore. I wonder why he wouldn't stay the night. I felt all the time it was somebody strange he brought in instead of roving around the city meeting God knows who, night walkers and pickpockets. His poor mother wouldn't like that if she was alive, ruining himself for life perhaps. Still, it's a lovely one. So sad. I used to love coming home after dances, the lion of the night. They have friends they can talk to. We've none. Either he wants what he won't get, or it's some woman ready to stick her milk in him. I hate that woman. No wonder they treat us the way they do. What a dreadful lot of bitches. I suppose it's all the troubles we have makes us so snappy. No, I'm not like that. He could have easily slept in there on the sofa in the other room. I suppose he was as shy as a boy, he being so young, hardly 20, of me in the next room. He'd have heard me on the chamber. I very well happened. Daedalus. I wonder, it's like those names in Gibraltar. De La Paz, De La Gracia. They had the devil's queer names then. Father Vial Plana of Santa Maria that gave me the rosary, Rosali the Aurelian, Calle las Sietas Robutas, and Pistingo, and Mrs. Opiso in Governor Street. What a name! I'd go and drown myself in the first river if I had a name like that. And all the bits of streets. Paradise Ramp, Bedlam Ramp, and Rogers Ramp, and Purchase Ramp, and the Devil's Cap Steps. Well, small blame to me if I am a harum scarum. I know I am a bit. I declare to God I don't feel a day older than them. I wonder could I get my tongue round any of this Spanish. Como está usted muy bien, gracias. I haven't forgotten it. I thought I had, only for the grammar. And noun is the name of any person, place or thing. Pity I never tried to read that novel, Cantankerous Mrs. Rubio sent me by Valera with the questions in it all upside down the two ways. I always knew we'd go in the end. I can tell him the Spanish and he'd tell me the Italian. Then you'll see I'm not so ignorant. What a pity he didn't stay. I'm sure the poor fellow was dead tired and wanted a bad bit sleep badly. I could have brought him in his breakfast in bed with a bit of toast. So long as he didn't do it on the night for bad luck. Or if the woman was going around with the watercress and something nice and tasty, and there are a few olives in his kitchen, he might like. I never could bear the look of them in a rain. I could do the coriander. Now the room looks all right since I changed it the other way. You see, something was telling me all the time I'd have to introduce myself, not knowing me from Adam. Very funny, wouldn't it? I'm his wife. Or pretend we were in Spain with him half awake without a God's notion where he is. Groceries and cistrallados. Lord, the crack things come into my head sometimes. The great fun supposing he stayed with us. Why not? There's the room upstairs empty and Millie's bed in the back room. He could do his writing and studies at the table and there for all the scribbling he does at it. And if he wants to read in bed in the morning like me, as he's making the breakfast for one, he can make it. And for two, I'm sure I'm not going to take in lodgers off the street for him if he takes a gazebo off a house. I with an intelligent, well-educated person. I'd have to get a nice pair of red slippers like those Turks with the felt used to sell, or yellow, and a nice semi-transparent morning gown that I badly want, or a peach blossom dressing jacket like the one long ago in Walpole's, only 8 and 6 or 18 and 6. I'll just give him one more chance. I'll get up early in the morning. I'm sick of Cohen's old bed in any case, and I go over to the markets to see all the vegetables and cabbages and tomatoes and carrots and all kinds of splendid fruits all coming in lovely and fresh. Who knows if he's the first man I'd meet? They're out looking for it in the morning, Mary Dillon says. They're at it there too, and then the night. That was her mask, honey. I'd love a big juicy pear now tonight in her mouth. Like when I used to be in the longing rain. Then I'd throw him up his eggs and tea in the moustache cup she gave him to make his mouth bigger. I suppose he'd like my nice cream too. I know what I'll do. I'll go about rather gay. Not too much singing, a bit now and then. If I ever must have you, then I'll start dressing myself to go out. I'll put on my best shifting drawers, let him have a good eyeful out of that to make his Mickey stand firm. I'll let him know that's what he wanted, that his wife is fucked. Yes, and damn well fucked too. Up to my neck nearly and not by him. 5 or 6 times hand running. There's the mark of his spunk on the clean sheet. I wouldn't bother to even iron it out. That ought to satisfy him. If you don't believe me, feel my belly. Unless I made him stand there and put him into me. I've a mind to tell him every scrap and make him do it in front of me. Serve him right. It's all his own fault if I am an adulteress. As the thing in the gallery said, oh, much about it if that's all the harm ever he did in this vale of tears. God knows it's not much. Doesn't everybody? Only they hide it. I suppose that's what a woman is supposed to be there for. Or he wouldn't have made it the way he did so attractive to men. Then, if he wants to kiss my bottom, I'll drag open my drawers and bulge it right out in his face as large as life. He can stick his tongue 7 miles up my hole as he's there, my brown card. Then I'll tell him I want £1, perhaps 30 shillings. I'll tell him I want to buy underpants. Then if he gives me that, well, he won't be too bad. I don't want to soak it all out of him like other women do. I could often have written out a fine cheque for myself and write his name on it for a couple of pounds a few times if he got to lock it up. Besides, he won't spend it. I'll let him do it off on me behind, provided he doesn't smear all my good drawers. I suppose that can't be helped. I'll do the indifferent 1 or 2 questions. I'll know by the answers. When he's like that, he can't keep a thing back. I know every turn in him. I'll tighten my bottom well and let out a few smutty words. Smell them, or lick my shit, or the first smart thing that comes into my head. Then I'll suggest about, yes, oh, I know something. My turn is coming. I'll be quite gay and friendly over it. But I was forgetting this bloody pest of a thing. You wouldn't know which to laugh or cry with such a mixture of plum and apple. No, I'll have to wear the old thing, so much the better. He'll be more pointed. He'll never know whether he did it or not. There, that's good enough for you. Any old thing at all. And I'll wipe him off me just like a business. It's a mission. Then I'll go out. I'll have him eyeing up at the ceiling. Where's she coming? Make him want me. That's the only way. 1/4 after. What an unearthly hour. I suppose they're just getting up in China now, combing out their pigtails for the day. They'll soon have the nuns ringing the Angelus. They've nobody coming in to spoil their sleep, except a mad priest or two for his night office. The alarm clock next door at the clock shop clacking the brains out of itself. Let me see if I can doze off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What kind of flowers are those they invented like the stars? The wallpaper in Lombard Street was much nicer. The apron he gave me was like that, something. Oh yeah, I only wore it twice. Better lower the lamp and try again so that I can get up early. I go to Lamb's there beside Findlaters and get them to send us some flowers to put about the place. In case he brings him home. Tomorrow. No, today I mean. No, Friday's an unlucky day. First I want to do the place up some way, but just grows in it, I think, while I'm asleep. Then we can have music and cigarettes. I can accompany him. First I must clean the keys of the piano with milk. What'll I wear? Shall I wear a white rose? Or those fairy cakes and Liptons? I love the smell of a rich big shop at 7.5 a pound. Or the other ones with the cherries in them and the pinky sugar 11 pence a couple of pounds. Of course, a nice plant for the middle of the table. I get that now cheaper. Where's this? I saw them not long ago. I love flowers. God of heaven, there's nothing like nature. The wild mountains, and the sea, and the waves rushing, and the beautiful country with fields of oats and wheat, and all kinds of things, and all the fine cattle going about that would do your heart good to see. Rivers, and lakes, and flowers, all sorts of shapes and smells and colours spraying up even out of the ditches. Primroses and violets. Nature it is. As for them saying there's no God, I wouldn't give a snap of me 2 fingers for all their learning. Why don't they go and create something? I often asked them. Atheists, or whatever they call themselves. Go and wash the cobbles off themselves first. Then when they go howling for the priest and they die, and why? Why? Because they're afraid of hell on account of their bad conscience. Ah, yes, I know them well. Who was the first person in the universe before there was anybody that made it at all? Who? Ah, that they don't know. Neither do I. So there you are. They might as well try to stop the sun from rising tomorrow. The sun shines for you. He said the day we were lying among the rhododendrons on Hope Head, in the grey tweed suit and his straw hat, the day I got him to propose to me. Yes. First I gave him the bit of seed cake out of my mouth. And it was leap year like now, yes, 16 years ago, my God. After that long kiss I near lost my breath. Yes, he said I was a flower of the mountain. Yes, and so we are flowers, all a woman's body. Yes, that was the one true thing he said in his life, and the sun shines for you today. Yes. That was why I liked him, because I saw he understood or felt what a woman is, and I knew I could always get around him, and I gave him all the pleasure I could, leading him on till he asked me to say yes, and I wouldn't answer first, looked only out over the sea and the sky. I was thinking of so many things he didn't know of. Mulvey, and Mr. Stanhope, and Esther, and Father, and old Captain Groves, and the sailors playing All Birds Fly, and I say stoop and washing up dishes, they called it, on the pier, and the sentry in front of the governor's house with the king around his white helmet. Poor Diggle half-roasted, and the Spanish girls laughing in their shawls, and their tall combs, and the auctions in the morning, the Greeks, and the Jews, and the Arabs, and the devil knows who else from all the ends of Europe, and Duke Street, and the fowl market, all clucking outside Larby Sharon's, and the poor donkeys slipping half asleep, and the vague fellows in the cloaks asleep in the shade, and the steps and the big wheels of the carts, of the bulls, and the old castle, thousands of years old, yes, and those handsome Moors all in white, and turbans like canes, asking you to sit down in the little bit of a shop, and Rhonda, with the old windows of the posadas glancing eyes, and Lattice hid for her lover to kiss the iron, and the wine shop half open at night, and the castanets, and the night we missed the boat at Jalgicaris, the watchman going about serene with his lamp, and oh, that awful deep down torrent, oh, and the sea crimson, sometimes like fire, and the glorious sunsets, and the fig trees in the Alameda gardens, yes, and all the queer little streets, and pink, and blue, and yellow houses, and the rose gardens, and the jessamine, and geraniums, and cactuses, and Gibraltar as a girl where I was a flower of the mountain, yes, when I put the rose in my hair like the Andalusian girls used, or should I wear red, yes, and how he kissed me under the Moorish wall, and I thought, well as well him as another, and then I cast him with my eyes to ask again, yes, and then he asked me would I, yes, to say, yes, my mountain flower, and first I put my arms around him, yes, and drew him down to me so he could feel my breath all perfume, yes, and his heart was going like mad, and yes, I said, yes, I will. Yes.